joining us today. I am Elisa Meredith, Content Marketing Manager of Tailwind, and I am joined today by my good friend, Jeff C., Manly Pinterest Tips.
Hello.
How you doing, Jeff?
Doing good. Got a bit of a cold, so if I sound a little froggy, that's why.
Oh, I thought you were just being dramatic. Okay.
Well, that can do.
Yes, that's very good. Very good. Thank you. So, we are here to talk about Instagram profiles and how to make a really great one. So I did a blog post about it last week, which we can share a link to, but I thought it would be fun to talk about some of this and also show some examples on screen. So you up for that, Jeff?
Sure, let's go.
All
I'm
right.
all about. I need to know how to do this myself, so I'm just gonna sit there and listen to you the entire time.
Why are you here again?
I don't know. The door was open. I came in.
Okay. All right. So our first question is about Instagram photos. You know, that picture you see when someone looks at your profile, you look at someone else's profile. What do you think? Should it be a face? Should it be a logo? What makes a good profile picture?
It used to be a lot more stringent, I think. A lot of times the purists were like, it's got to be a photo. It's got to be this. And video didn't even perform as well. Now video isn't. There's some accounts that all they do is post video and they do pretty well. So I think it depends on your brand and where you're going. I still think photos do better. And Instagram still is the selfie capital of the world, in my opinion. And so it's really interesting when we talk about Pinterest and Instagram and how images work. When I did an audit for a big clothing company, I did a lot of research in this. And it's funny, some of the ones who figured it out will have the exact same catalog shot for Instagram, and they'll be their faces will be pretty, and then on Pinterest they'll cut them off, so all you see is the actual outfit, and it's the same exact photo, but they have just cropped it that way. And after I talked to you and some other people, the reason is because people want to see themselves in that outfit on Pinterest, and Instagram it's more of, hey, look at this, look how pretty it is, it's photography. It's not so much of putting yourself and dreaming about it. It's kind of a showcase, or almost like I know a lot of photographers use it as a portfolio. So keep that in mind when you're creating your images. You can't just slap up any old image on Instagram and think, hey, this is going to work.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Now, but we're talking today specifically about your
profile picture.
Yeah.
I still think all those things apply. I think that you a logo won't do as well as a face, in my opinion, because once again, Instagram is all about the photo, and so I think if your brand, I still think even if you have a logo and you're even a well-known brand, unless you're a really, really big one like Coke or Nordstrom's or something like that, I still think having a photo of a person, maybe even the person who runs the account, would be better.
Yeah, I agree and that would be my only exception too. If you're a big brand and people know the brand more than they know you,
right,
you kind of need to use that logo as your photo, because otherwise it's not evident that this is the official account. So I would totally agree there. Okay, so on to the next element, your username. What exactly is a username?
It's your username. It's how people find you. So you want a username is how people find you. And I've always said that if you try to keep it across the board. So like Jeff C is, I try to get all that across the board for Facebook, Instagram, have that all be the same. Don't have like Elisa Meredith on one and then, redhead curly girl on your Instagram account or something like that. You want to have it be consistent across accounts. Now there's times when that's not available, especially if you have a like familiar name like Jones or something like that. A lot of people will be creative with an underscore or their year of their birth or something like that, or the real Elisa Meredith, something like that. So you can play around with that, but try to keep it as consistent. And even if you have to kind of mess around with it to be the same as like your Facebook or your Twitter handle, keeping it just like one character off is probably better.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. So your username is that name that people mention in comments. And it's also, if you go to Instagram.com/ that part of it, that's the username. And the reason I'm trying to kind of differentiate is because the other part of your profile we can talk about, excuse me, is your Instagram name. That's a little bit different. So what is that, and what do you think that should be?
once again, the same rules apply. As you can keep it as you don't want to have it so it's hard and like, what did I land on the wrong spot? You want to have it kind of the same as you can, and so um, that's what I would suggest. Now, that your mileage may vary, but I just like I said, you try to keep it the same. What
Yeah.
you gonna say?
No, I'm just looking at yours.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, yours is exactly the same. So Jeff C. But I've
right,
also seen people take that spot because you can have spaces in
right,
your name as opposed to your username. So you could do like Jeff C visual marketing
yeah.
for your name if you wanted to. So do you think there's benefit in doing that?
I don't. I guess it depends on your brand. For
Yeah.
me, it didn't make sense. I don't like to have, you know,
Pinterest
Esquire or something.
Maven,
Yeah, I don't
Guru,
want it to be difficult. I
Expert.
want it to be. I don't like calling myself that stuff.
I know.
I think if somebody else calls me, that's fine, but I don't want to. I'm just Jeff C.
Yeah.
Your name.
Yeah, but you know what? I also think on the other hand, you don't have that much space in your profile to begin with.
Right.
So if there's something you can put in your Instagram name in that space rather than taking up room somewhere else, that might be beneficial. So mine is Elisa Meredith Pinterest Pro.
Oh,
So at
you're a
least you know what
pro.
I do. Well, I get paid for it, so that makes me a pro.
Okay.
Definitely not going to say I'm an
And
expert.
and this is just or guru or ninja or
Right,
whatever.
right.
But I mean, it's a personal preference. I just and to be honest, for mine, I still have not switched, and we'll get into this later, to a business account. My account is still personal, and so uh, I have chosen to do that just because I think reach will go down if you. That's just my personal preference.
Okay. All right. We have some comments here. Too bad we don't have a waxy mustache to put up in that profile pic.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, goals, right? 2018
Right.
goals we
And
can all work
waxy
on.
mustache. That's a great
It's a
description.
compliment, I'm sure, from
Mm-hmm.
Byron. Thank you. Yeah. And as far as the image goes, are you the brand or is it the company?
Yeah, I think that makes a difference. I
Yeah,
think it makes a big difference.
absolutely. Yep. Okay. So now some of these things we're going to talk about today are only available on a business account.
Right.
And
Right.
we'll specify which ones those are. Now, I have switched to a business account just because I have seen experiments where people have tried switching and switching back, and there doesn't seem to be a drop in reach.
Yeah, Peg Fitzpatrick is another person who I've talked to, and it doesn't seem like she's gone back and forth as well. And so it doesn't, I don't think it hurts you or anything. I have just done it just because I'm lazy, and I have enough business accounts that I manage that I don't really, I mean, I already see the features, and so I don't need to like test stuff. So
Right.
that's why I've just left mine the way it is.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I really like, well, we'll get into the other things you can do with business. Okay. So this part to me is the trickiest part, the bio, right? So that's all those words you have to come up with, and you don't really get that much space. So how important is that bio?
I think it's pretty important, especially if people like your feed and they want to click and find out more about you. I think it needs to be pretty concise, and it's one of the hardest things. And I tend to, once I write a good bio is leave it alone, and then like when I change jobs or something, have to change it. So writing a clear, concise bio is important. And one of the things I always like to do is run it by friends and colleagues and mix, because I do that with you all the time. Because I'm like, this makes sense. Is this who I am? Does this make sense? And sometimes your friends and trusted people that you run around with will give you ideas and insights that maybe you didn't think about, or they say, that's not clear. That makes no sense to somebody like me who doesn't know what you do for a living. So
Right.
having people kind of do a once over on that, I think is really important.
Oh yeah, I do not like writing bios, so I try to write one and use it everywhere. But I would totally agree with you there. Ask your friends, what are one or two words or phrases that describe me and what I do in a nutshell, and try to work those in. Because if that's how they see you, that's probably how you want to present yourself. And it can feel so awkward talking about yourself. So let other people do it. So to emoji or not to emoji in your bio?
This is another personal preference. Now, there has been, I know some people have tested it and they've seen better engagement with emojis. I am just old school and it's just hard for me to use them. Maybe if they had a beard emoji, I'd use it. I don't know. But they don't have one. They don't.
I'm sure that's coming.
They
That's
don't have
coming.
one. I don't know. I've written to my congressman and it doesn't matter. So, but yes, so, even, and that, you go into posts and if to do it on posts and stuff, I think it's a personal thing. There probably is some benefit. If your audience is skewing younger, then I definitely probably would do that. It just depends, and you can test it. You can always change it. Emoji isn't hard to go back and test or take out later. So,
Right.
what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it depends on your subject matter. So if you're a big serious financial company and
Yeah.
your readers aren't into emoji, then don't use them. But I think in general it can put a mood to your
Yeah.
words that's
But
really
you got to
hard to
find the
break.
right one. You can't like
Yeah.
have a funeral home and it's like happy face, after
No.
your name. So
Oh,
that would
that's
be
what I was gonna
well,
do.
maybe not. But
Just
so
let
yeah, I
people
think
do that.
it needs to be appropriate.
Okay. So what do you think about formatting bios, like where you add in line spaces? Think that helps?
I think it can. I
Mhm.
don't. I try to keep mine so short that I don't need to format it.
Oh,
But I've seen a lot of people do it and do it well. So it's kind of hinky and it's kind of hard to play with sometimes to get it
yeah.
to work right. But the people, especially if you're tending to run long, breaking it up with um, some ways with like bullet points or whatever, I think can help.
Yeah. And very highly in favor of that myself because yeah, I like to stick in as much as I can just to get the most
Right.
mileage out of my bio, but I want it to look good too. So I just dropped in a link to the blog post that I wrote because it has several different ways you can format. I think a way that seems to work really well for some reason is to put it in a Facebook post and copy it from there.
Oh
It's
yeah, that's a
it's
good hack. Yeah.
weird, but it seems to work. So there are several that you could try depending on your platform. It might work for you. Okay, so here's kind of well, this one is a business
Right.
bio only. Business category. Do I need to choose one? Does it matter what I choose? So obviously this is only for business profiles, not personal.
I think it does matter. I think it does, especially I think it probably plays in a little bit to the Facebook algorithm. And especially if you start using ads and stuff like that, I think it will matter. So if unless you're really out there and there's nothing that fits you, I would try to fit you into some sort of category. Just because I think, especially people who are, if they're starting to do a lot of this stuff on Instagram where they're saying, accounts you may like, that's a new feature that we're going to talk about that they're starting to push out, is in your feed, where they also have like stories. Don't miss these stories from your
Oh
friends. And
yeah.
now they're saying, hey, here's some accounts that you may like. I think maybe this section, if you like a business, they may show you businesses that are similar, or we don't know how the algorithm work, but I would try to use all that to my advantage.
Okay. And I use one as well, and my reasoning is more again that getting more from that space. So if I
Hmm.
put in that I'm a visual marketer or I can't remember what it was. You can't just do anything you want, but it's news
Right.
and media website. At least people know
Yeah.
I write stuff.
Right.
Um, so it's a way to put that in your profile without having to use up that space you might not want
Right.
to. Okay, so I say yes, use one. Okay, Instagram contact options, another feature that's only available for business accounts and only available on mobile.
Right.
So for mine, let's see if we can get it without the glare on it. We've got call, email, and directions.
Hmm.
So those buttons there, I can push those and I can
Yeah.
call
Call
me.
yourself.
I can call
Yeah.
myself. That would be exciting.
Go lonely. Just click on your profile.
That's right. Now, with directions, I don't want to give my home
Right.
office address, right? But what I have done is I've chosen the city and state I live in, Wilmington, North Carolina.
Mhm.
And my feeling with that is that shows up in
Yeah.
my profile, in my bio,
Hmm.
Wilmington, North Carolina. And so I have people from the local area who will find me and follow me. So I feel
Right.
like some people really would like to do business with a local person. Um, for whatever reason. And so I want to make that obvious, and I don't want to put it in my bio because I want to put other stuff there.
Right.
So I've got my email, phone number, directions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
So
I think those are important. I mean, so like I run the Instagram for a chocolate factory,
mhm.
and so one of the biggest thing is for us is directions. They can click on that and they can see where, if they see a post or something that we posted, like a holiday special or a holiday sale, especially with all the chocolate going around this time of year, they can get directions right from their phone really easily. So and they can call real easily. So
Yeah,
I would,
super
if
helpful.
it makes sense, unless you're working from home, like you said, I don't really want people just showing up at my house because I ain't going to answer the door, is that, you know, try to fill it out as much as you can, especially if you're a local business, because it does make sense. And I think people are using it more. I see more and more of the younger generation just going to Instagram and clicking on that and to find out how to get to a pizza shop or how to do, or how to call and make reservations. I mean, that kind of stuff. So yeah, make it easy as you can for your audience.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We have a question from Kim. Are bios helpful with searches on Instagram? What's searchable on Instagram?
I don't know for 100%. I still would fill it out as much. I wouldn't keyword stuff. I mean, if you're used to doing Pinterest boards, I'd kind of, you don't want to keyword stuff Pinterest boards either, but you want to make it relevant. So I don't know if they're searchable, but with all the stuff that are going on and how they're searching and they're rolling out a ton of new features on Instagram, is I would try to fill out everything I can as accurate as I can be. And I think that's just going to help you in the long run. But I don't know for 100% if they're searchable.
So I just tried it. I search surf shop and looked at people, and I'm seeing a couple that I follow because I live near the beach. And the ones that are showing up have surf shop in their username, and they also have it in their Instagram name. Right. So I'm not seeing necessarily a correlation between what's in their actual bio part of that profile, but definitely in the username and the Instagram name.
But I would, you never know, because they can change all that. I mean, you never know what they're going to use for algorithm and ads and everything. And so, like I said, with this new profiles to follow, where they're kind of suggesting, hey, you may like this. Yeah. You just never know what they're pulling.
I agree. Okay, so another question here from Scott. Where do you set the business category? So that, edit profile.
Yeah, it's right below. It's underneath your business information. You'll have your page that you can link to, your category that we talked about, and then the contact options. All that's kind of underneath the business information.
That's right. Cool. Melissa loves the new contact options. Me too. So good. Okay. All right. So we all know one of the challenges with Instagram marketing is you only get one link.
Yes.
Right. So what should it be? Should it be to your homepage? What do you recommend?
It really depends on what you're trying to do. If you're doing a big push and you want to have a landing page that you're going to, that's fine to do. Some bloggers will link to their blogging, their article every time. One of the things, and I learned this from Jen Herman, is to make sure that you use a bit.ly link to track. Otherwise, it just shows up into the other stuff in Google Analytics, I believe.
Yeah, it comes up as direct.
Yeah, direct, and it's kind of lost in there. So you want to make sure that you use that bit.ly link so you can track it. And that's what we do at Social Media Examiner. We have a bit.ly link where we can track how many people are coming to our page from Instagram. So that's the first thing. There's some other cool tools where you can actually add like to shop stuff. And, there's some third-party apps that can use that. But I usually just use the bit.ly link for, and then switch it out if you want to, it's kind of a pain.
Yeah.
But with some of the new shopping stuff, like Shopify is allowing you to shop straight from Instagram and some other stuff. So it's kind of opening up where it's not so much an issue, at least for physical products, as it used to be.
Okay. And then Byron gives us a good question. Any proven patterns that get people to click over to the bio and visit your website? What's the call to action strategy on Instagram?
Link to bio is one I still see all the time.
Yeah,
link in bio. And people still to use that. But I still see people trying to put a link in that was not clickable. I still people doing that.
Yeah, you know what you can do, and I think usually people will say, "Hey, that's not clickable." But if you put in a link and say copy and paste in your browser, you can try that. See if people will do that.
It's still hard to copy and paste some of it sometimes. So.
It is, and link in bio is something people are very accustomed to. So we're kind of trained to do that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Becca has created a special landing page on her blog. So it's presumably a special landing page for Instagram visitor, which is a great idea.
Which is smart, and especially you want to make sure it's optimized for mobile. So anything you're taking them to, and that's another thing I've seen a lot of people not do, is it's not optimized for mobile, or you can't read, or the thing that I hate the most is when it's a pop-up ad and there's nowhere to click on the X. And people send me to their website from Instagram, and they give me their pop-up ad, and I can't read their content that they want me to because they have that stupid pop-up thing where I can't X out of because it's not optimized right for mobile. So remember your visitors are coming from mobile, from Instagram, 100%. Mostly everyone's coming from there. So
Right.
Make sure that landing page or wherever you're taking them, it's optimized for that mobile viewer.
Very good. Yeah, and Jerry reminds us that if you have over 10,000 followers, you can do links in stories, which is wonderful. I hope they're going to roll that out to everybody because that is super effective. We noticed when Melissa was saying that when Tailwind, when we started doing it for Tailwind, we just started getting so much more traffic from Instagram. It was amazing. Okay, so Thea, can you track Instagram to blog, website, etc.? Yeah, that's what Jeff was saying about the Bitly links.
Yes.
I want to make sure you
use or that's just one link shortener. You can use some other ones. I think you can use the Google one or whatever, but Bitly works well.
Yeah. Oh, and that's just what I was saying, Melissa. I missed your comment, but yeah, it's been great to use Lincoln Story. Okay, so what's the next thing? Oh, the 9 grid. Okay, first question. The 9 grid, when you look at someone's profile, you see the top 9 photos usually. For a while there, I was seeing 12 grid. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's been testing that, and a lot of people were getting hacked off because a lot of the big time Instagrammers they curate their feed at that 9 grid to figure out how it's going to look. I mean, some of them, in fact, one of the ones that we'll talk about later for examples is my friend Rob from Bold Brand Fast. He does a great job of laying things out that all fit together in the big feed. The problem is when they were testing that, it would jack everything up. And some people have curated this from the beginning, and it's messed up their feed. And so and the purists really want that 9 grid and not that 12, but we'll see.
Yeah,
my feeling is they were testing it because they want to have a space for ads. So
that could be. And then if they kept it consistent, it wouldn't mess everybody's
grid up. But it would mess if they start putting ads in the grid view. That's really going to mess people up, and they're going to have a huge outcry. But that's what they're running out of space on Instagram, just like they are on Facebook for ads. So just be ready for where they're going to put stuff.
Okay. Well, and if you use Tailwind for Instagram, we have a 9 grid preview, which is really cool because you can see not only what's already there, but you can see when you're scheduling how it's going to look when they all go out, which is pretty neat. Now, Melissa has an idea for us. She heard, and this is back to the link in your bio. She heard of someone using a Pinterest board to collect links in bio. So the links are clickable and the images load in similarly to Instagram. So you'd have your link in bio that would be the same, which would link to a Pinterest board with all the links. So all those pictures of your blog post or your products would take you right to that product or blog post, which that's really smart. Thanks for sharing that.
Especially if they're in, it'd be hard for people who are not on Pinterest. Like some people would like, why would I?
Not on Pinterest?
Yeah, I know. They're just Luddites. But that would be the thing that I would be hesitant of if they weren't on there. So
I guess you got to know your audience, right? So maybe you're bigger on Pinterest. Yeah. Okay. So Byron wants to ask about thoughts on using the 9 grid to lay out big images like on this profile. It looks pretty snazzy. Yeah, we're going to show one of those.
Yeah. If you have the time to do it, it looks really cool. But you have to remember that one, as you add, it goes down. And if you have to continue to do it, and that requires brain power sometimes that I just don't have. But the people who do it and do it well, it looks really slick.
Yeah. So when you do that, though, you have to. It would make sense to post them all at once, right? One right after another.
See, Rob doesn't do. The guy I use, he has it all laid out, so he knows how to do it, and so he will post them, and it makes sense. It's not all at once. So.
Boy. Okay.
We'll show his.
All right. So best recommendation for scheduling posts. Well, that's easy. Tailwind.
That's Tailwind. That's a softball right there.
Yeah. Thanks for setting that up. Yep. Check is in the mail. No, it's great because it does have that 9 grid preview, but it also has hashtag lists and hashtag suggestions. And we know hashtags, I hated having to come up with those and then have to write them in an Evernote document, copy and paste them in. So this way it's so easy. Plus, I do a little cheat with the hashtag lists. I put my formatting from my posts in it because I like to have the caption, a couple of pins on separate lines, and then below that have my hashtags. So I have that format saved in a hashtag list, which is pretty cool. So anyway.
Well, since we're talking about the 9 grid, why don't you go ahead? It's the last one in our document. The bring up Bold Brand Fast on your screen if you can share that, because I want to show what we're talking about when we're talking about people laying out their grids.
Okay.
Because Rod does a really good job. So,
all right, so let me do this. I'm going to try not to break anything, you guys.
Okay. The whole internet is waiting with bated breath for Elisa not to break them. Please, if you all lose connection, it's Elisa's fault.
That's right. It's all my fault. All right, so I'm going to share my
Did we
desktop.
test this before?
Are you kidding?
That's right. That's how we roll here at Tailwind.
That's right. That's
live
right.
video shows.
Okay, so can you see it?
No, I can't.
Oh, but everybody else should be able to. So, Bold Brand Fast. I see it. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, really, he does these one at a time?
From what I've seen, he does. I look at him, but if you look at the individual posts, they all make sense by themselves too, which is very, very creative. So, they don't see it. You're not sharing your screen.
It.
No.
It says it's sharing. Why is it not sharing? Oh, my fault. Sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
How can I make that
now
bigger?
You can solo it so it comes up big, but you're sharing like everything. You're showing the back end right now of the.
I know.
You need to just pick the application window that you have it in. There it is.
Okay.
Yes, there we go. So this is Rob from Bold Brand Fast. He's been on my show before. He does a great job. But if you scroll through that feed, you can see how he has his individual posts, but they all tie together in this cool graphic design layout. He's a genius when it comes to that, and he it just keeps going. So very, very cool. And that's why he wasn't very happy when they tested the 12 thing, because it messed stuff up. But you see how it all fits, and each post works by itself as well. So it's just very, very cool.
Okay, Instagram goals right there. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So
cool. All right. Well, so let's share some others. Let's see this one here. So, I love this account. Okay, let me pull it up. This one is.
This is one of mine.
Okay.
The reason I like these guys is because they're the people that people love to hate, but they do such a funny job. If you haven't followed the TSA, it is hilarious because they have funny posts, but they also use it to put across their message of things that not to bring on the plane. And the stuff that people bring on the plane is so funny. But they also have cute posts. There's one post that did really, really well where you can see the penguins going through the metal detector because they had a zoo come through and they had them go, and it was a great picture. So they did a great job, and they have somebody funny who's running the account, and it's just you wouldn't think that the TSA would have a good Instagram account, but it is hilarious. So the TSA, great account to follow, but that's one that you wouldn't think would do well, but does.
And it looks like they are maybe gathering photos from other places, because the first one I looked at was San Antonio.
Yeah, what they'll have somebody will say, "Hey TSA, can I bring this on the plane?" And like one was like a cat in a suitcase, and they're like, "We actually did take a Chihuahua out of one that you can't pack you can bring them on the plane, but you can't pack them in your luggage," and stuff like that. So they're fun, and it's just amazing sometimes what people are trying to get through. But yeah, they'll share their Twitter photos that people will send them via Twitter as well.
That's cute. So, your dinosaur would have to be in cargo because, well, he's a dinosaur.
Yeah. So very clever.
Yeah, that's fun. I like it. All right. Okay. So who else have we got? I'm doing all yours first, by the way. Oh, yeah.
I can't remember who else I put.
Pixar.
Oh, Pixar. Yes. One, these people know how to tell a story. Their stories, their Instagram stories are awesome. I remember the one I was watching, they had a intern go around and on a like a little Segway and take, their first day at work at Pixar. And they, if you follow Pixar at all, they're incredible storytellers, and their Instagram account is not any different. And it's just fun. It makes me smile. That's why I like them. Cool. But they know how to tell stories, great examples, and their Instagram stories are really well done too.
Yeah, now this is an interesting choice in a photo. Why do you think they chose this?
Because it's Pixar. It's Ball. I mean, if you know anything about Pixar,
obviously
that's one of their first things that they animated in computer graphics.
Okay. So. Yeah, and this is
And it's
their
also in front of the, I think there's a big statue of it in front of their building.
okay. All right. So their Instagram username, Pixar, makes sense. Their Instagram name, Pixar Animation Studios, makes sense. They have a nice bit.ly link, little emoji, and it could be even, it's probably formatted better, but you just can't see that on desktop.
And they're also a blue checked account.
Oh, yeah. What does that get you, by the way?
A blue check. I don't know. That means you're verified. So
okay. All right. So let's do one more, and then we can go to some of the assessments that people sent in. We had some requests. Frankly, I wish we'd gotten more train wrecks than we got, Jeff.
I know they weren't bad.
They weren't bad.
And my thing is there was a couple we were going to assess them. Like, I don't understand why they don't have more followers. And I think
okay.
Let's talk about
that.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So this was another one of your social bakers.
Oh, social bakers. They did a great job. Their stories are really good. So if you want some examples of stories to follow on Instagram, because to me, honestly, I think that a lot of engagement is moving from Instagram posts to Instagram stories, and so I see that they're doing a really good job. If you want some examples of Instagram stories,
cool. We have awakened the dogs. So
I haven't done anything.
So sorry about that. Okay, so let's show some of the assessments. Okay. Can't see it. Okay. I'm just checking through comments to see if there are any. Oh yeah, David loves Rob's feed. It's very cool and a lot of work. I think Rob's probably going to get some followers today, so that's cool. Okay, so the first one we have is...
You're frozen for me, by the way. There you go. You're back now.
Okay. So we're going to look at Eat Your Way Clean.
Show the dogs.
They just show the dogs. Yeah. If they come in here, I will, but they're currently barking out the front window.
This is one of them. Eat Your Way Clean. Yeah. I don't understand why she didn't have more followers than she does, because her photography is incredible.
Yeah.
Food is very popular on Instagram. She does some really some creative photos. So I was really shocked. I don't know if she hasn't been doing it for a while, but I thought I couldn't figure out why, because I've seen follower counts a lot higher on less professional looking images than what she has done. So my thing would to try on this one would change up your hashtags. Make sure you're not for some reason getting one of those shadow banned ones, because I have a feeling on the food industry that moves pretty quickly, that something that she may have on there may be blocking some of her posts. I would use Tailwind's hashtag finder and test some of those. I would also play with the time of day. Maybe she's not posting at the right time when people are on it checking their feeds. So I would play with the time of day. Like for Social Media Examiner, I know when we can post, it's usually later in the evening because we just seem to hit more people. So that would be one thing. And the other thing I would just test and just randomly was to see if try to incorporate some food shots with some faces of people.
That's
if she could do that. I don't know, that may not work, but I would at least test it. But her photography is awesome.
It's beautiful, and it's using a lot of the cooler colors of blue that tend to do well. I would suggest if you haven't tried Tailwind for Instagram, at least get a trial, because it does it uses a smart schedule, so it looks at your followers and when they are most likely to be on, so it can help you show up better. But yeah, this is really beautiful, and you can't see it here on desktop, but she has used the options for business accounts like email, directions. Probably phone number doesn't make sense for her, but she's used a business category. Her location shows up. It's a really beautifully done. What you might do, because you have as your Instagram name Alicia Pope, you might embellish that a little bit just to say who you are and what you do, because that shows up in bold font, right? Both on desktop and on your mobile. So that's kind of the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, because it's beautiful. So that's why I think it's a hashtag thing or a time of post that may be an issue. So it's a great account.
Yeah. Well done. Sorry, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
But
there hasn't. I don't think you
yeah,
gave me any that were terrible at all.
no, no. Okay, so let's do Pink Castle fabrics.
Yeah, I don't like why you even give me this. What do they have? Like a gazillion viewers? I mean,
Yeah,
account follows.
23.9
Yeah. What?
thousand.
Why did you even put this one on there? This was awesome.
Because they asked.
It's great.
I'm not
It's a
going to
great
say
account.
no.
It's very, very colorful. They did a great job. The same thing would, apply. I would test and seeing if there's any way to get some faces with the fabric or a
Yes.
little bit more personable and see if that does any boost.
Yeah, I
So
would maybe show some projects that have been done with
yeah, but I,
your
I when I looked at it, it seemed to have a ton of different. They seem to be doing fine. I mean, I'll switch it with them in a heartbeat. So anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think you could make it a little more personal, a little more Instagram-y if it wasn't all product shots. Although you
Mhm.
have done an amazing job so far.
And I
So
didn't. I mean, and you can see, some of their it looks like their counts go up the longer they're on there. I mean, they're averaging, their most recent posts seem to be like 96 likes,
mhm.
122 likes, 52 likes, and their older posts seem to have some higher engagement. So I would play with some of the faces. I know I see some of them
See
that
if
they
there's
have them
one
on
there
there,
that's good. Yeah.
but and then I don't know what they're doing in stories. I didn't check and see at all what they're doing with stories, but that may be a way also to engage your audience, your followers you already have by doing some stories.
Yeah, but as far as the bio and profile go, like we're looking at desktop here, but on my mobile, they're using all the options for business. So they have that call button. So is there something to put on this line with a phone number instead of the phone number? Because like you said, almost no one comes from desktop. We're just doing it because we want to share the screen. So could you put something else? We make projects come alive, or
Like a little tagline, yeah.
yeah, like is it mostly a walk-in, or are you mostly shipping? So let people know who you are and what you can do for them. But
Yeah,
yeah, great
but
job.
it's a great account. Yeah, I was like, I wish mine was that high.
Yeah. Okay. So next one. Oop, we already did that one. Wild Bounds. This looks like fun.
Yeah, I thought. Let me see if I can go back to this one.
Can
Well,
you
once
see
again,
it?
this is one has a good, not a bad follower count. Everybody is losing engagement on Instagram. I mean, if you go to a lot of these posts, you look at some of the old ones, they're having like 200, 300 on some of the posts, and a lot of times it drops down. Once
Mm-hmm.
again, I think it's a lot of it is a hashtag and timing issue. Um, like the most recent post, they've got quite a few hashtags, but and this is I'm talking to myself here, is when was the last time you went back and checked to make sure those were still accurate and
Active, you
things that
mean?
your audience were tested? Because it's really easy on Instagram to get in a rut where you copy and paste, or you use one of those tag managers where you're using the same tags you've always used because they did well. They've changed, probably, like we've talked about dogs of Instagram before. That was a popular one, and now it's just not doing anything. And so I double check on those as well. The other thing is, and Peg Fitzpatrick mentioned this, is she has noticed that after you go back and edit your posts in Instagram, she's seeing engagement fall off sharply. So she's thinking that it's because Instagram doesn't want them to, they're
Oh.
giving a hit to people because they're trying to game the system, going back in and changing hashtags and all that stuff. So she really, and she's even said that she's like misspelled a word and gone back and edited it, and it didn't do as well.
Huh.
So I would be really careful about going back in and editing things after the fact. Now, I
Okay.
haven't done any tests about this, but to me, it makes sense. So if you're going back and editing it after the fact, maybe that's a reason that some of your engagement is going down. But
That's
that
a
would be
great
something
tip.
to test.
Thank you, Peg, wherever you are. Okay, so I think this profile is quite good. So we have the logo, and I'm not aware of the brand, but it could be that it's well known enough that a logo is appropriate here. I
Yeah,
think
and
they're
it fits their brand, I think,
yeah,
too.
yeah. Now looking at the profile on mobile, they do have a business account and they have an email link, but they don't have phone number. I wonder, I'm not sure if that would be appropriate for them. But what I do like is that they're using some emoji, and you can see it's formatted a little differently on mobile so that it really makes sense that the pointing down is pointing to here, click here, sign up for free inspiration. So I guess the only thing I'm a little, okay, so it's an email newsletter that we're signing up for, Christmas gift guide. I guess I would like to see a little bit more about who is it for. You could kind of guess by looking at the pictures, but is it for sports people? Is it for weekend warriors? Who should be following you? But I think it looks really good. Yeah, I don't see anything really missing.
Yeah, I think you just did good.
Okay. Really pretty though. Now I want to go on vacation.
Yeah, I don't even need to go outside today. After
Yeah.
I've seen that, I mean, I'm
Very
done.
nice. Okay.
I got enough sun.
Okay. All right. I got to say, I love this Instagram username, Invading Mars. So fun.
Yes. When I first looked at it, this is
Yeah.
just my opinion. Unless it's all the way across every platform, the profile photo, because Invading Mars, she has a great picture down in the middle where it's a close up more of her face, and I like that one better as a profile picture because I can't.
One.
She's looking down to the side. I just would want to see her face more, especially on Instagram. I just think that's, unless it's that way across all her profile pictures and that's all she's using. Believe me, I understand. I had one for, I think my blog Gravatar is still with me without a beard, but so I understand about updating stuff. But I think there's some other photos in there that would be even better, that show your face a lot better, because a lot of when you're looking on mobile, it's really, really small. And so I would want to see, since it's a lifestyle blog and it's about you living life in Philadelphia, I just would think that I would want to see your face a little bit more. Okay. That's the first thing that stuck out to me.
Okay.
I love her eclectic images that she has on here. I think it's a very personal brand. I like it. So.
Okay. I do too now. It looks like she's using probably a personal account because she doesn't have the options to call, email.
But look how many likes she has. I mean,
whoa.
Like on the one where she has the Crunch Porter, there's 300 and people have liked that. I mean, she's got people following her, and I think she has a great account. And so it's the same thing for, if she's seeing an Instagram that there's engagement that's falling off, I would really, like we've said before, look at the time of day, look at the hashtags, because that's really the only thing you have in control other than, your images. And I don't see anything wrong with her images.
Does it look to you like she's using the same filter on these top 9?
I can't tell.
Oh,
yeah, I think so, but I don't have any problem with filters, because
right.
they'll tell you what filters are working best, and there's been studies shown that using a filter on Instagram does increase likes and engagement. So
yeah, I like it.
In fact, we did that at Social Media Examiner. We went, and all our posts now have some sort of filter on them because they perform better. And so, so I think it's a great account.
Yeah, so these top 9 look like the same filter, and then looks like she started about there, and then these are a little bit different. But I think stick with this. This is pretty, and people are liking it.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. So, I've never been a lifestyle blogger, Jeff, so I don't quite understand how it all works. But do you think that there's a way she could get more people to follow her from the wording in her bio? Or do you think it's more like, if you're interested in life in Philadelphia, follow this?
She could probably tweak that. I would, what I always do is, like, I copy and paste my bio and save it like an Evernote, so I can always go back, because I can always forget what I had before. Yeah. And so, she may want to test that. She may want to move that, some of those around and put like her, her, change out some of these, like Philadelphia. I mean, Philadelphia makes sense, but maybe put coffee, fitness, and books before Philadelphia to see if that makes a difference, and just kind of change it a little bit around to see if that helps at all. But I didn't have a problem with it at all.
Okay. Now, and something I'm noticing on the mobile again is that not using the business account, apparently, it's not showing that she's in Philadelphia, PA, other than what's in her bio. Mm-hmm. And also she has her email address and website, but she could have her email address in the contact button, which stands out a bit more,
Right.
and you don't have to copy and paste.
Mm-hmm.
So just a couple little things, but looking really good. Okay, so one last one from here is weddings.
Oh, weddings.
Jeff's favorite.
I love weddings as long
Me
as I
too.
don't have to be in them. No, I've been married for over 20 years, so I don't have to worry about this. But this is another one. I'm like, okay, weddings do great on Instagram. I'm not really sure. One of the reasons I would, if you have an awesome wedding photography picture, I would change that into the profile because that logo is really, really small,
Yep.
hard to see, even more on a mobile device. But your images are awesome, and I thought your profile looked great. I just, yeah, and once again, hashtags and time of post because it looks like they're in the UK. Well, maybe not. I can't tell where they're from. This is USA, Spain, Latin America, and UK. So if you're hitting all those places, that is going to be really, really important for you to figure out when the best time to post for you. And that's probably going to change seasonally, especially when wedding season starts happening in these different areas. It's probably a little bit different from the US and Spain. There's probably different months that the wedding season hits. So I would really use like tailwinds, the best time to post and figure that out because I think that will where you're going to hit and where you're showing up in people who are following you's feed is going to be really, really important. But the images are gorgeous.
They really
If you
are.
if you like weddings,
If you like that sort of thing.
You like that sort of thing.
But this one here, really, there's no reason it should only have 27 likes.
Yeah, that's why I think it's a hashtag thing, and because I have not done a lot of research on wedding photography hashtags, but I know it's a huge thing on Instagram. So, yeah, I would play around with those things we mentioned. But it's a great profile, a great picture.
Right, and the site looks good too. I think what I would say is where you kind of got tripped up just looking at it was, are they in the US, in Spain, Latin America, or in the UK? So do they need to have separate accounts for each location? I mean, I don't know their business well enough to know.
Yeah, and it says, the beginning and their profile says trends and wedding ideas. So do they sell anything? Or they sell ideas? Do they sell? What are they? What is it they're doing? Is it, that's kind of a little bit nebulous, and that may hurt them as well.
Right, and then their category they've chosen is news and media website. So it sounds like it's a blog, which is fine. And then they've used one line as formatted on mobile to say email to collaborate. So really, I think kind of we might have hit on it is probably the image and also not really sure what they do. So if I looked at this profile, I wouldn't know, am I just following for pretty pictures? That might be nice, but I may never take action. I may, forget why I followed them. So those are the assessments we had requests for. I hope that was helpful, but I mean, come on, guys. You're really doing quite well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Patricia is from the Buddhists weddings. She said that's because that's where her readers come from. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. But she is using Tailwind. Okay. Well, maybe time to refresh your smart schedule, perhaps. Start using some different hashtags.
That middle picture that I'm looking at on your thing where the kids are holding and there's the frame and the couples inside of it. I mean, that one should be huge. Instead of to me 32 likes is really, really low, and the hashtags I'm looking, maybe those are too general. Maybe you need to niche down a little bit more. Wedding photography, you may be lost in the feed really, really quickly. You may want to niche down on some different ones. Sure. Maybe even look at regional hashtags about weddings in those areas. It's just because that's a gorgeous image, so I think that should do a lot better than what I'm seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so every 3 weeks she refreshes her hashtags. I wonder, if you have a huge global network, it might be worth thinking about different accounts, but it really is pretty. We have a volunteer for a bad Instagram account. I hope that this is yours because I don't want to embarrass anybody else. But if you're volunteering, let's see. See if I can tell if it's his. Oh, yep. I think it is his. Okay. So, Daniel, you're a good sport. Let us look at yours. Okay. Oh,
Can you send me? I can't see it. It's too small. So can
I
you,
can't see it. Sure.
you
How
put
can I
that in the
send it to you?
document for me?
I can't really get there without showing everybody. All right, I'm going to show you guys the back end here. Here's
You
the
don't have
chat.
to do that. You can just share your application window.
Too late. Okay. I look like an engineer. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, so father of three boys. I've got some broken emoji here. For one thing, Daniel Dobinson. You know, it's you could have done better with the badness here, Daniel. But still.
Yeah, let me
Okay,
see. I
what can we
haven't.
do?
I'm still picking it up here.
I like the. It's
Yeah, I
Dobbole.
got it.
Okay.
I can just initially. I know what you're doing, sharing your stats there. I think that's good. That kind of image really won't do good on Instagram. Now, if you want to share that like in a story and say, "Hey guys, look where I'm at in my journey," that I think would be better than that because it's the image is cropped off. It's hard to just at a glance see what that's about. But I think that kind of thing would be able to be shared in the story, and it probably would look better. So if you're talking about losing weight and your goals, sharing that in the story, one, it's more personable. It goes away after 24 hours. That seems to me more like a post that would do well. Your image, the last image you share, saying you're working from home today. That's great. I think that's awesome. And once again, try some different hashtags. But like you got some video going there. You got your food, Boba Fett. You can't go wrong with Boba Fett ever. So kudos to you. So I would just stick away. I would stay away from the stat posts. And see if that would help instead of doing the stats. Even you or like a picture of the treadmill going, I don't want to do this or something. I mean, more personable than just a stat to me would work better because it seems like there's a lot of those on that account and they don't seem to do very well from what I'm seeing. So that would be, but I mean, sharing your journey and encouraging people to lose weight and exercise, I think that's a great goal. And I've seen accounts that do that very well. I would just stay away from the stat posts.
Yeah, and this is a great picture here. This most recent picture of you, you can see a lot more of your face than you can in the image that you're using on your account. So I would probably switch them out.
Yeah,
you can see more. And like Jeff said, maybe you could replace a picture of you. Just sharing one little goal that you have reached. But there are a lot of them. And I would think about what the goal is for your accounts. So you're on your fat loss journey, you're building your business. So what is this, just a personal account? Because if it is, hey, post whatever you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's right. One tiny technical thing, these emoji don't appear to work on all browsers. The one of the three boys works fine on my iPhone, but for some reason it's showing up as boxes. So it's kind of a wasted space there. Now, if you could get a photo with your kids in your picture with you, that would be awesome. Maybe you could be
see now he just said it's a personal one, so you can do whatever you want on your personal one. Yeah. So I mean, you can post this stuff away, post your stats if you want. If you're wanting to build your business and get people to get to know you better, I would still, even if you're kind of halfway using it as personal versus professional, I still would take away some of those stats just because they just don't work well on Instagram, and see if that would work better. But for a personal account, like, you do whatever you want. I mean, really. Right. But if you do want to have it, because you have that little goal in there about building my business and getting back to my creativity, you may want to just kind of optimize it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I have a question here. Oh, from Laura. What do you recommend for people who blog and are always asked to share someone's Instagram photo? Should we have two accounts, one for personal and one for business?
Well, I'm confused of what she means by share Instagram photos. Like, they're asking you to share them, or I don't understand. I don't understand the question because you want to share your images to somebody else, or you're going to regram somebody else?
Here we go. Okay. Example, I help with book launches and they are having me share their images on my Instagram. Oh, huh.
So if you're getting paid, well, that's people would
That's part
love
of
to
the
have your
deal.
problem. But if you're helping with book launches, one, if they're wanting you to do something on your own brand, then you need to be compensated about it. And you could actually, if you're taking a picture of, I've seen people take pictures of the books that somebody sends them, like a podcaster gets books and hey, I got a new book by John Acuff, and they take a picture of it. It's still in their brand. If you're not paid, then I wouldn't share it if you don't want it to deplete your brand, or else take it and put it inside of some sort of, use Canva and maybe make a frame that does have your brand in it, or like books I'm reading now, or donated to me by whatever, and have your own little frame that matches your brand that you could put that book cover in. That might be something you can do. But if they're not paying you and you don't want to do it, then don't do it.
Okay,
Unless
well
you're getting
here's
some
another
sort of,
way. I'm going to argue with you, Jeff, because we haven't done that yet. And
you're wrong. We'll just say that right now.
and we need to at least once per show. Okay, so if you're helping with book launches, is that your business? Is that how you get paid, is by helping with book launches? Because if you do, it could be, oh, you're not paid. But if it's part of either your job or your brands,
you're wrong.
Then
she said it's not for her job. If it's just for hers, then it doesn't. She shouldn't have to do it. I mean, if she's just being nice, that's great. But I would make it branded for myself.
Write the books, give me images to share. But if that is your job, if you are a consultant who helps with book launches and you're getting these people, oh, you helped me launch my book, here it is, please share it, you get a free copy of the book. Oh, no.
Yeah. See, once again, I'm right. Exactly what I said is create a branded frame or something like you could share it in on Canva, and then you could share it to if you want to do that. You don't have to, but you could share it to your Instagram feed saying, hey, I was just given this. It's awesome. I'm reading it now. It's a free book. I'll let you know what I think, or whatever.
Okay. But if you're getting that kind of customer content and it shows off your work, I'm not saying that this is necessarily the case here, but yes, take your own photos of the book, take photos they send you, and say, here's something.
I win. She says she loved the idea of a branded frame. I win. Thank you, Laura. You proved my point.
I'm leaving. But anytime you can show something great you've done for work in an artistic way on Instagram can absolutely be to your benefit. And people say, oh, I want to do that for me too. But all right, Jeff wins this round. We'll be back. So I know that I missed some assessment requests and a couple of questions, but Jeff, he has places to go, things for people to see. So you're going to go eat and take some more cold medicine. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we will go through the comments and do our best to help you out there. And we'll be back again in a month.
Yeah, and let us know if you like this assessment format, because this has been fun. And if it provides value, we want to keep doing that in the show. So let us know in the comments. And also share this. Please. Especially you people who gave you good assessments. Share it to all your friends.
That's right. Yep. Lisa and this bearded guy said it was good. So thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate all your comments and questions, and we will see you again. And thank you, Jeff. Feel better.
Thank you for having me. See you guys next time.
Bye.